It's April Fool's Day, so don't fall for it. Today, though, we are talking to our medical expert about medical myths, and there are several of them. Like people, some of them are old wives' tales, but sometimes you hear them like, oh, I pulled a gray hair. Oh, no, another gray hair is going to grow in. Does that really mean, does that happen?
So people say if I pull a gray hair, I'll get two in its place, and that is a myth. That does not happen. But if you pull a hair, the exact same type of hair is likely to grow in its place. So if it was gray when you pulled it, it's likely going to be gray again. Now, why people notice their gray hairs multiplying is because they're just getting older.
You're getting more gray
right?
hair.
You're getting more gray hairs.
Great.
But don't pull your hairs in general, because the more you pull out, the more you damage and traumatize the hair follicle. You might get bald patches and thinning, and you're not going to recover from that.
Some of these are light, like that one.
Yeah.
And we have some serious things that are myths as well. Fish oil, taking fish oil tablets, good for your heart. That's what people say.
I hear this every single day, Tom. I have patients who come in on fish oils to me as a cardiologist, and I say, stop spending your money on fish oils because they're not good for your heart. We thought they were because there were early studies that told us people taking them did better, but those were people that were doing other healthy things. When we said, you take fish oils, you don't, they showed no benefit. In fact, they showed risk. They can raise your bad cholesterol. They can cause thinning of your blood. They can cause arrhythmia called atrial fibrillation. So only prescription fish oils given by your doctor are good for your heart, not over the counter. Don't take those.
This one is one that I know has, well, it's especially pertinent right now when we talk about vaccines and autism. That is something for many years people believe vaccines can cause autism.
So this all started in 1998. There was a study that was a landmark study that said, okay, maybe the MMR vaccine, the one we've been talking about most recently, is associated with autism. Now that study was later retracted because they found a number of mistakes in it, including the timing. So think about when we give kids the second dose of the MMR, it's between 4 and 6. And a lot of kids get diagnosed with autism around that same age. But what the study showed, which wasn't reported initially, was that they actually got autism diagnosis before they got the MMR vaccine. And so the timing was wrong, and so therefore the conclusion was wrong because the autism happened before the vaccine. And since then we've had dozens of scientific studies showing no link whatsoever. So this one really worries me because people hold on to it, even though it's been debunked for the last 25 years or more.
All right, I have a serious one for you. The 5-second rule.
What's your take on this?
You know, if it's an Oreo that you really need and
Well,
it's the last one in the pack.
Just so you know, the 5 seconds with me, it's a long count.
So does it depend on the table or the floor?
Oh, it totally depends. I mean, that's the thing. There's a unique circumstance. Like if you're in some disgusting place, the 5-second rule is just never mind. But what about the 5-second rule in general? Because it's obviously made up, but does it have any validity?
Absolutely none. Now you want to think about what surface it's contacting because that tells you the bacterial content of the surface. But the second it touches, there's instant microbial transfer. And if the food is sticky, not so much an Oreo, but it's a piece of candy or something like that, it's more likely to get more bacteria.
Probably gets more off my hand than it gets off the floor, but that's.
But maybe you can catch it midair.
Can you blow on it? That's what I always.
So if you put it underwater, you will take off some bacterial load, but not all of it. And so I would say just put it in the trash instead of inside your body.
So awful. Okay, some go to bed with wet hair. Can it cause a cold?
So this one's interesting because mom always told me that. Don't shower at night, don't wash your hair because it'll cause a cold. So when you have wet hair when you're sleeping at night, of course it's uncomfortable, but it can affect your body temperature, which could potentially impact your immune function and make you more susceptible to cold. So it doesn't directly give you a cold, but certainly if your immune function is compromised, it can increase your risk.
I know I wake up with an interesting hairstyle when I go
Bless
to
your
bed.
hair. Yeah, I was going to say you have all these dents in it.
Well, and you get breakage and frizz
Yes, it's
when
not
it's
good.
wet.
Not good.
Oh, now you're talking about hair quality.
I'm sure you have a satin pillowcase for your hair.
Well, if my head's on the pillow, sometimes I'm just over there on the parquet floor.
But he's not plucking his grays, so that's a good thing.
Thanks for having a little fun with us and some
good.
serious stuff on
Happy
April
April
Fool's Day.
Fools.
Same to you, Dr. Powell Coley. You can get much more news from Dr. Coley. Go to 9news.com/Dr. Coley.